Cold calling is terrifying. You're literally facing three of the biggest human fears all at once. The fear of rejection, which trust me, you get a lot of that. People saying no, people saying leave me alone, people saying delete my number. The fear of judgment. What will people even think about you? Ugh, slimy salesperson. Or maybe you start stuttering on your words and people just start laughing at you and thinking, this guy has no clue what he's even on about. And number three, what if you put all of this effort in just to get nothing out of it? You make all of these calls just to make no money. What even is the point? And I know just how difficult it is to get started with cold calling because I've been there. It took me a year to become consistent with cold calling. I would finally build up the courage to call someone, get rejected, and be like, no, I'm not going to go through that again. And take a 3-month break. And I was stuck in this cycle for ages where I would call someone, get rejected. Okay, I'm not doing this anymore. And I would just stop. And it took me so long to finally face that fear. But the problem was, I knew cold calling was one of the fastest ways to grow my business. I didn't have any money to start out, so I couldn't just pump money into ads. And I tried cold email, I had tried cold DMs, and yeah, I got a bit of success from those things, but it just wasn't consistent. And the part I hated most about those channels was you just don't get any feedback. You send 2,000 emails, you don't even know if they've seen the email, you don't know if your email's just bad. There's just so many unknowns. And I was like, what I like about cold calling is you call someone up, you get a yes, you get a no, you can move on. But I was just terrified to do it. However, I would like to say I've more or less overcome that fear. I'm not going to say I wake up in the morning and I'm like, yay, I get to cold call today. No, I don't know if you ever do hit that point. But now it doesn't really faze me. I can just pick up the phone. I can just call people up. And in this video, I want to share some of the things that helped me to overcome that fear so that maybe you're in the same position I was in where you know cold calling is going to help you to grow your business, but you're just scared to do it. So the first thing that really helped me to overcome my fear of cold calling is something I've never seen anyone else talk about on the internet. I'm not saying I made it up, but this is actually really powerful and it really did help me. And it's called fear leveraging. You're probably thinking, what's this guy even on about? Give me a second. I promise this will be valuable. We all have fears, right? For some people, it's the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the fear of judgment. Those are the ones I mentioned. But there are other fears that we have. Like for me, one of my biggest fears is the fear of just being average, just being a nobody, like achieving nothing in my life and just being mediocre. That's something I'm terrified of. But in the moment, you're only thinking about the fear right in front of you. So when you start cold calling, you're only thinking about, oh, but I could get rejected, or this person might judge me, or I could fail. And you forget the fears that are actually deeper and the things that you're actually more scared of. And this is what I call fear leveraging, which is you accept you've got a fear, but you remind yourself of the bigger fear. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're scared of cats. Joke, man. Imagine being scared of cats. But anyway, let's say you're scared of cats and there's this cat chasing you. Yeah, you'll probably run fast. You'll be scared. Okay, what if there's a lion chasing you? Yeah, that cat doesn't seem significant now, does it? And it's the same thing I realized with my fears. It's like, yeah, I'm scared of being rejected, but I'm scared of being average and just living a normal life and having to work a job I hate for 40 years and retire at 80 and never retire my parents and never have the freedom to travel and never have the freedom to buy things that I want to buy and be able to help the people that I want to help. That scares me more, bro. So whenever I remind myself of my bigger fear, the fear of rejection doesn't seem that significant anymore. Because what I realize is, oh, you get rejected a few times. Well, it's better than living that dead life that you're scared of. And fear leveraging is so powerful because you can use this in any area of your life, not even just cold calling. Just think of a fear that you have, but remind yourself of what the bigger fear is, man. And that was so powerful for me. And I did something called writing out my anti-vision. And let me explain what that is. Everyone talks about a vision. Everyone knows about a vision board. Oh yeah, new year, new me. This year I'm gonna get all of these cool things. Yeah, great. No one ever does. And it's because as humans, we are driven more by pain and avoiding pain than we are by the desire for success. That is scientific. I'm not a scientist, but trust me. So sometimes instead of having this vision, I'm going to make 10K a month, I'm going to make 100K a month, I'm going to retire my parents, I'm going to travel, I'm going to do all of these cool things. There's days that just means nothing to you. And there's days you're just tired and you don't care about that. But you will care about running away from the life that you don't want. So literally in this book here, as you can see, I wrote out my anti-vision, which is basically what's the life that you would hate more than anything. So to summarize, my anti-vision is something along the lines of being 30 years old, still sat in my parents' house, having worked a job I just do not like, not really knowing where I want to go, having zero freedom, looking down the rabbit hole and only seeing 50 more years of this job that I just dread, being shouted at by a manager, having literally no freedom. No freedom is my anti-vision. And reminding myself of that is what drives me on those days where I'm scared to pick up the phone, or those days where I just don't really want to do anything. I'm not feeling motivated. And it works every time. Whenever I feel scared to call someone, I just read my anti-vision. I just remind myself of the life I'm running away from, and it gets me straight back into gear. And as I said, I've never seen anyone really talk about this online, but it's such a powerful technique because fear is one of those things where it only has the power you give it. You determine how powerful your fears are. And yes, the fear of rejection might be a lot, or the fear of failure, or the fear of judgment, or whatever it is that you're scared of that's stopping you from cold calling. But you probably have a deeper fear that makes all those other ones just seem insignificant. Maybe it's similar to mine, maybe it's something completely different. But I highly recommend you sit down with yourself and you say, what do I fear more than anything? What is the life that I dread, that I would hate to wake up to this life? Write it out. And whenever you feel that friction, that I don't really want to call today, just remind yourself of that. That's the life you're running from. And if you don't take action and you don't make the calls and you don't do the things that's going to help you to grow your business, guess what? That life is going to be a reality. And that's what I constantly remind myself of. If I don't take action and I just wait for things to happen, nothing changes if nothing changes. And if nothing changes, the life I'm going to have is the life that I would fear more than anything. And this technique is just super, super powerful. So if you only take one thing from this video, let it be that. Sit down with your fears. Write your fears out. Write all the fears you have out. And just ask yourself, which one do I fear most? And use that to make the other ones seem insignificant. Anyway, let's move on to the second thing that helped me to overcome my fear of cold calling. So the second thing that helped me to overcome my fear of cold calling is actually a mindset shift. Oh yeah, mindset. No, I promise you, it's not going to be another one of those mindset videos. This is actually valuable. And for it to make sense, let me give you an analogy. So imagine you've just broken your arm and you go to the doctors and you walk in, and before the doctor even hears you out, they just go, here are some crutches, that will solve your problem. And you're like, bro, my arm is literally broken. I don't need crutches. And they're like, no, listen, I'm the doctor, I'm the expert, you need crutches. You'll be like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, he doesn't even know what my problem is, and he's already trying to tell me he can help solve it. Okay, so tell me why we treat sales like that. Well, that's how I treated sales anyway. In my head, it's like, I just need to sell to any potential person I would call. So I'll just call people and be like, oh yeah, my name's Efaturi and I'm from ABC Company and we help beep, beep. Like, nobody cares about that. No one wants to be pitched to, especially if you don't understand what their problem is. The same way you're not gonna go to the doctor and they just say, oh yeah, you need this thing. What happens when you go to the doctor? They listen to you. They ask you questions, they understand your problem, then they prescribe a solution. And that's exactly the mindset shift that helped me overcome my fear of cold calling, because it took the pressure off, oh, I need to sell to everyone, to no, I just need to understand people's problems, find the people who actually need the thing that I'm selling and I can actually help, and then prescribe them a solution. And just be like, look, you told me you have XYZ problem. I have XYZ solution, which will help you. Do you want to have a conversation about that? And 9 times out of 10, because you've taken the time to sit there, to listen, to understand them, they will agree. But when you put so much pressure on yourself that, oh, I just have to sell to everyone and I just need to book as many meetings as possible, of course you're going to be scared. Because when you get rejected, you failed. Because the metric you're tracking is meetings booked, not genuine conversations and actually understanding people. And this shift genuinely changed my life. Okay, that's a bit dramatic, but it really did help me overcome my fear of cold calling, because I used to put so much pressure on myself that, I need to just book as many meetings. I don't care who the person is, I just need to book them into a meeting. And I wouldn't even be listening to what they're saying. I'll just be focused on, okay, what am I going to say next? What's the clever line I'm going to say? How am I going to tweak my pitch to get them to actually agree to the meeting, when all I needed to do was relax and just ask them questions. Okay, so you have this problem. Okay, cool. How long have you had this problem for? Oh, okay. What have you tried to fix this? Okay, interesting. And then when I understand it enough, that's when I can come and I can say, look, I genuinely can help you. So it's taking your mind from I'm trying to sell to someone to I'm trying to help someone. And when you go on with the frame that you actually genuinely want to help people, cold calling becomes way less daunting, because you're not trying to sell someone something that they don't want. You're genuinely trying to find people who need what you're offering, and you can actually help. And that just makes it way easier. Genuinely makes it way easier. Because when someone rejects you or someone says they're not interested, it's like, look, maybe you have a broken arm and I'm trying to sell you crutches. That's a bar, by the way. But that's literally it. So change your mindset from I'm trying to sell to someone to I'm trying to help someone. I promise you, it makes cold calling way easier. And that fear, because I can talk for myself, one of the biggest fears I had with cold calling is the fear of bothering someone. In my mind, it's like I'm calling someone in the middle of their day, someone who hasn't asked to hear from me, to try and sell them something. Like, that just didn't sit right with me. I was like, I don't want to bother people. I just want to leave people to go and live their life. But when you have the mindset shift that I'm trying to find people I can help, then it's like you're not bothering them. You're just trying to find out if you can help them. And if you genuinely have something that can help them, then how is that bothering them? Think of a problem you have in your life right now. If someone calls you up and says, look, John, I don't know if your name's John, but whatever your name is, look, we typically work with clients who have this problem. Do you have this problem? Let's say we typically work with young men, I'm assuming based on my analytics, young men who want to make money online and they want to retire their parents and they're very ambitious. And we help them by doing XYZ thing, because they typically have this problem. Do you have this problem? And you're like, yeah, I literally have this problem. Yeah, I'm sat in my mum's basement and I actually want to retire her. Oh, great. How long have you had this problem for? Then they listen and they understand your situation. And then at the end, they're like, look, we've got this mentorship program that can help resolve that. This is literally what every coaching program does. I'm spilling all the secrets. Do you want to get on a call where we can talk about how we can help you? And guess what? Shock! It works. Guess what? Shock! It would work on you if someone genuinely took time to listen, to understand, not listen to respond, and to help you, not try to sell to you. It's such a powerful mindset reframe, but it genuinely did help me so much to overcome my fear of cold calling. And the final thing that helped me to overcome my fear of cold calling is arguably the most important, which is just make it a game, man. Like, think about a video game that you've really liked. You could spend hours doing that thing. Hours. You're just sat there doing it again and again and again. And if you can take that same mentality and transfer that across to cold calling, would that not make it easier? Would that not just remove the fear? Well, I'm here to tell you, you can. You genuinely can just gamify it. And there's a few ways I like to do this. Number one is tracking no's. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna try and get 10 rejections in a row. And you're probably thinking, that's such a stupid goal. Why would you want to do that? You're here to make money. And it's like subconsciously, when your goal is to do the thing that you fear, you no longer fear it. And you also feel a lot less pressure because when someone gets rejected, it's like, tick, yay, I got my first rejection, you win. When someone books a meeting, it's like, tick, yay, I got a meeting, I win. You don't lose. You cannot lose if you make it a game. If you're like, look, my goal is to get 10 rejections in a row today. Oh, another one is just doing it with friends. Like, don't cold call by yourself with your curtains pulled, with your body language like this, and like, oh yeah, hello, is it John? It's like, of course it's gonna be terrible. But if you're with all your mates, you're just chilling on some random Google Meet, and everyone's just there making calls, it's funny. When someone rejects you, you will laugh about it. When someone books a meeting, it's like, bro, you're cold. Like, you get pumped up, which is exactly why I'm actually thinking about starting a community where we can just cold call together, because I know how lonely it is and I know how difficult it is doing it by yourself. So if you're interested in something like that, just drop a comment down below. If I see demand, I will supply. But genuinely, I hope this video is useful. Like, cold calling, as I said, is terrifying. It's something I really struggled with. If you want to see my first time cold calling, at least publicly, it's actually on my channel. It was 3 months ago. I was absolutely terrible in that video. And I was terrified of cold calling. But you can watch the entire journey of the last 3 months. Watch me go from some rookie to someone who, I'm not the best knower, but I'm pretty decent. And I'm getting there. But anyway, I hope you found the video useful, and check out this video on screen. YouTube often recommends whatever the best video is for you, and I hope to see you soon.